Of course. The provided outline is rich with esoteric depth and aligns perfectly with the established style. I will now expand this into the full, uninterrupted 99.99-word cinematic monologue. What happens when the moon dares to defy the sun? You have been taught a simple story of the cosmos, a story of benevolent kings and predictable orbits, a story where the sun is the unquestioned and all-powerful center of all things. You have been told that Ra, the great solar deity, is the source, the king, the father, and that all other celestial bodies are but his loyal and subservient courtiers, his pale and distant children. The moon in this story is a gentle and passive reflector, a beautiful but powerless mirror, a quiet servant who rules the lesser and more dangerous realm of the night, forever borrowing its light from the true and sovereign master of the day. This is the story of the patriarchy of the sky, a myth of singular, masculine, and absolute power that has been projected onto the heavens to justify the same unbalanced and tyrannical structure on the earth. It is a story that is simple, clean, and profoundly, deliberately, and dangerously wrong. For in the deepest, most secret vaults of the Egyptian mysteries, in the nocturnal rituals performed by a priesthood that understood the terrifying and beautiful power of the darkness, a different story was told. It was a story of rivalry, a story of challenge, a story of a quiet and patient rebellion. It was the story of the god who was not born of fire, but of silence. It was the story of Khonsu, the moon, and his eternal cosmic challenge to the sun. This is not a myth about celestial mechanics. It is a profound and living metaphor for the great and eternal war that is being waged right now within your own soul. It is the war between two conflicting and necessary values, the war between intuition and intellect, between humility and dominance, between the reflective, quiet wisdom of the shadow and the blazing, unquestioning authority of the light. The story of Khonsu is the story of a universe that is not a kingdom, but a conversation, a dialogue, a dance. It is the story of how light, when it is divided, becomes power, and how power, when it is unbalanced, becomes destruction. And the most dangerous secret of all is not that the moon challenges the sun. It is that the sun, in its secret heart, needs the challenge to remember what it truly is. To understand the nature of the challenge, you must first understand the true and hidden nature of the challenger. You have been shown the image of Khonsu as a young man, a prince, a child with the side lock of youth, often depicted with the head of a falcon like his father, Horus, or as a mummified figure holding the crook and flail. He is the traveler, the one who journeys across the night sky. He is a god of time, of calendars, of the gentle, predictable rhythms of the night. This is his safe, exoteric, and domesticated form, the version that was palatable to the great solar cults. But in the older, darker, and more primal layers of his mythology, Khonsu was not a gentle prince. He was a monster. In the earliest pyramid texts, he is not a traveler, he is a hunter. He is given the terrifying epithet, the Devourer of Hearts. He is a bloodthirsty and cannibalistic god who helps the deceased king to hunt and to eat the other gods, to absorb their magic, their heka, into himself. This is not a primitive and barbaric fantasy. It is a profound and terrifying piece of alchemical symbolism. It tells you that the true, primal nature of the moon is not passive reflection. It is active and ruthless absorption. The moon does not just borrow the light of the sun. It eats it. It consumes the power of the other gods and makes it its own. This is the first key to the mystery. Khonsu is not a servant. He is a predator. His origins further reveal the complexity of his nature. He is the son of the great Theban triad, the child of Amun and Mut. Amun is the hidden one, the god of the invisible, the unmanifest, the great silent abyss of pure potential. Mut is the great mother, the divine vulture, the goddess of the womb and the tomb, the one who both gives life and consumes the dead. Khonsu is born of these two principles, the hidden silence and the fierce, maternal, and all-consuming feminine. He is not a child of the light. He is a child of the dark, intelligent void and the terrifying, beautiful cycle of life and death. He is a being who embodies both the silent precision of his father and the emotional, cyclical, and primal power of his mother. And his domain is the night. This is not the underworld, the duat. It is the conscious and living world that awakens when the blinding, simplifying, and dominant light of Ra has finally set. While Ra ruled the day with the loud thunder of his authority, Khonsu ruled the night with the quiet and subtle power of rhythm. He did not command the crops to grow with the force of his heat. He whispered to them through the gentle and predictable cycles of the seasons. He did not command the oceans with the force of his will. He pulled them with the silent, invisible gravity of his phases. He did not command the bodies of women. He was the silent metronome of the menstrual cycle, the very rhythm of life's creation. Ra's power was a shout. Khonsu's power was a whisper. And in the sacred and silent darkness of the night, a whisper is more powerful than a shout. This was the source of the cosmic tension. The kingdom of Ra was a kingdom of the singular I Am, of the one manifest and unchanging truth. The kingdom of Khonsu was a kingdom of the cyclical, the emotional, the intuitive, the ever-changing. It was a kingdom of the we are, of the interconnected and subtle web of life. Ra's power was the power of the king. Khonsu's power was the power of the priest, the healer, the poet, the lover, and the priests of the great solar temples, in their obsession with the masculine, projective, and unchanging nature of their god, began to feel a deep and instinctual fear. They saw the growing influence of the moon. They saw the people turning to Khonsu not just for the calendar, but for healing, for oracles, for a connection to the deep, emotional, and intuitive parts of their own being that the brilliant, logical, and distant sun god could not touch. The sun was losing its monopoly on the divine. The silence of the night was beginning to hold more power than the noise of the day. And a king who is no longer the sole source of power is a king who is in danger of losing his throne. The confrontation between the sun and the moon was not a single epic battle. It was a long and subtle duel, a cosmic game of riddles and of power, a story that is not written in a single text, but is woven throughout the entire fabric of Egyptian mythology. The story begins with the pride of the sun. Ra, the Lord of the Light, feeling his absolute supremacy being challenged by the growing influence of the quiet and mysterious god of the night, confronts Khonsu. He challenges the moon to reveal his own light. "You are but a pale and powerless reflection of my own glory," Ra declares. "You have no light of your own. You are a beggar, a thief, a ghost who lives on the crumbs of my own divine feast." This is the eternal argument of the ego, of the conscious, rational mind. It is the part of you that believes that only what is visible, what is loud, what is projective and active, is real. It is the part of you that dismisses your intuition, your feelings, your dreams as powerless reflections, as unreal and unimportant echoes of the real world, of action and of fact. And Khonsu, in his quiet and profound wisdom, does not deny the charge. He agrees. "It is true, great Ra," he replies. "I have no light of my own. For what is light but a projection, a force that moves in a straight line from its source? I am not a source. I am a mirror, but a mirror is not a thief. A mirror is a memory. You radiate, but I receive. You project, but I absorb. Your light travels and is gone in an instant, but the light that falls on me, I hold, I gather, I remember." In this one simple exchange, the entire cosmic power dynamic is inverted. Khonsu reveals that his power is not the opposite of Ra's. It is the necessary and complementary other half. The sun's power is to give. The moon's power is to receive. And in a universe where nothing is ever truly lost, the power of receiving, of holding, of remembering is a power that is equal to, and perhaps even more enduring than, the power of giving. And then, the challenge becomes a theft. Khonsu, having declared his nature, begins to prove it. In a series of cosmic games and wagers, the details of which are lost in the most obscure of the myths, the moon begins to win fragments of the sun's light. In one story, he plays a game of Senet, a sacred board game, against Thoth, and he wins from him a fraction of the daylight, which is why the lunar year is shorter than the solar year. In another, more esoteric telling, he does not win the light, he weaves it. He begins to consciously and deliberately absorb the excess of Ra's fiery, chaotic, and often destructive energy. He takes the blinding, sterile glare of the midday sun and he alchemizes it. He cools it. He softens it. He transforms it into a gentle, silvery, and life-giving luminescence. He is not just a mirror. He is a filter. He is a divine artist, taking the raw, primal color of the sun's fire and weaving it into the beautiful, intricate, and ever-changing tapestry of the lunar phases. He creates a silver armor of reflected light. The duel is not a war. It is a dialogue. It is the eternal, cosmic enactment of the principle of polarity. Ra is the masculine, the projective, the active, the hot, the dry, the linear. Khonsu is the feminine, the receptive, the passive, the cool, the moist, the cyclical. They are the yin and the yang of the Egyptian cosmos. They are not good versus evil. They are the two necessary and interdependent forces whose endless dance creates the rhythm of all life. And every eclipse is a ritual reenactment of their divine confrontation. When the shadow of the moon swallows the disk of the sun, it is not an act of destruction. It is a cosmic lesson in humility. It is a divine and necessary reminder to the all-powerful, ever-radiant ego of the sun that its light is not absolute. It is a reminder that the silent, receptive, and hidden power of the shadow can, for a moment, eclipse all the glory of the manifest world. It is the universe whispering a secret, that even the brightest light, if it is to be whole, must sometimes bow to the wisdom of the silence. The conflict between Ra and Khonsu is not a story of a family squabble between two gods. It is a profound and timeless philosophical lesson, a coded map of the two competing and necessary values that are at war within every civilization and within every human soul. Ra represents the path of linear dominance. His is the worldview of the king, of the general, of the engineer. It is a worldview that sees reality as a problem to be solved, a resource to be exploited, a chaos to be conquered and brought under the control of a singular organizing will. His truth is the truth of the straight line, the arrow, the pyramid. It is a truth that is achieved through force, through action, through the relentless and projective power of the conscious mind. It is the path of progress through fire. It is the path that has built your empires, your cities, your technologies. It is the path that says, I think, therefore I am. It is the path of the ego in its most magnificent and most terrifying form. Khonsu represents the path of cyclical understanding. His is the worldview of the mystic, of the poet, of the healer. It is a worldview that sees reality not as a problem to be solved, but as a mystery to be inhabited. It is a truth that is not achieved through control, but through reflection, not through force, but through adaptation. His truth is the truth of the circle, the spiral, the wave. It is a truth that is found not in the loud pronouncements of the conscious mind, but in the quiet whispers of the subconscious, of the intuition of the body. It is the path of progress through surrender. It is the path that has birthed your art, your music, your religions, your deepest understandings of love and of loss. It is the path that says, I feel, therefore I am. It is the path of the soul. The conflict between these two gods is not a conflict between good and evil. It is the fundamental creative tension between these two necessary ways of being. And the great tragedy of your modern world is that it is a civilization that has declared a victor in this ancient war. It has built its entire edifice on the foundation of the solar principle. It has become a world of pure, unbalanced, and cancerous Ra. You are living in a civilization that worships the intellect and dismisses the emotion. You are living in a civilization that rewards relentless innovation and punishes the slow, patient wisdom of introspection. You are living in a civilization that is addicted to the blinding, 24-hour glare of the artificial sun of your screens and is pathologically terrified of the dark, silent, and regenerative power of the night. You are living in a civilization where the sunlight of the ego has burned out the moonlight of the soul. And the result is not a utopia of reason and progress. The result is a spiritual desert. It is a world of burnout, of anxiety, of disconnection, of a profound and nameless grief for a wholeness that has been forgotten. The Hermetic axiom, the great law of Thoth that governs this entire dynamic states, all opposites are identical in nature, differing only in degree. The war between the light of Ra and the reflection of Khonsu is, in its deepest truth, a dialogue of evolution. They are not two separate forces. They are two poles of the one, single, and indivisible force of consciousness itself. And a civilization, or a soul, that chooses to live at only one pole is a civilization or a soul that is profoundly, dangerously, and suicidally out of balance. The true genius of Khonsu, the secret victory that he wins in his eternal duel with the sun, is not that he defeats Ra, but that he learns to use him. He learns to harness the very excess of the sun's power for his own, different and equally sacred purpose. The path of Khonsu is the path of the shadow as the ultimate teacher. He does not try to generate his own light. He knows that is not his nature. Instead, he becomes the perfect and most intelligent of all mirrors. He takes the raw, chaotic, and often destructive fire of Ra, the midday heat that scorches the crops, the blinding glare that pains the eyes, and he performs an act of divine alchemy upon it. He absorbs it, he cools it, he filters it, and he reflects it back to the world, not as a weapon, but as a balm. He transforms the fire of the king into the cool, silvery light of the poet. He teaches the world that power is not just about projection. It is about transmutation, and every phase of the moon is a living and visible lesson in this forgotten science. The full moon is a lesson in the responsible use of power. It is the moment when Khonsu reflects the maximum amount of Ra's light. But it is a light that is soft, that is gentle, that allows one to see in the darkness without destroying the mystery of the night. It is a lesson that true power is not about how brightly you can shine, but about how wisely you can illuminate. And from this moment of fullness, Khonsu immediately begins his journey into humility. The waning of the moon is a lesson in the art of letting go. It is the conscious and deliberate release of power, the surrender of the glorious, full self, the journey back into the darkness. And the new moon, the dark moon, is the ultimate lesson of the shadow. It is the moment when the moon has no light. It is the moment of total surrender, of emptiness, of the return to the silent, unmanifest potential of our moon. This is not a defeat. This is not an absence. It is the most sacred and necessary part of the cycle. It is the moment of regeneration. It is in this darkness, in this emptiness, that the moon gathers its strength, that it heals, that it prepares for its own rebirth. The shadow is not the enemy of the light. It is the womb of the light. It is the necessary and fertile darkness from which all new light must be born. This is the wisdom that Ra, in his eternal and unchanging brilliance, can never know. Ra is always full. He is always shining. He never has the experience of emptiness, of surrender, of the need to be reborn. And because of this, he can never truly evolve. He is a god of being, not of becoming. Khonsu is the master of becoming. His entire existence is a process of change, of flow, of death and rebirth. And in this, he holds a wisdom that is, in many ways, deeper and more profound than that of the sun himself. This is the secret that the priests of Khonsu taught in their nocturnal meditations. In the great temple of Karnak, Khonsu had his own sacred precinct, a temple that was a place of deep and profound quiet, a counterpoint to the bright and noisy grandeur of the main temple of Amun-Ra. Here, the priests did not practice the projective magic of the solar cults. They practiced the receptive magic of the lunar path. They would sit in the darkness, in the silence, and they would practice the art of strategic yielding. They would learn to synchronize the rhythms of their own bodies, their own breath, their own hearts, with the great, slow, and powerful rhythms of the moon. They believed that stillness could achieve what effort could not. They believed that in the silence of their own inner night, they could receive the wisdom of the cosmos, not by seeking it, but by becoming an empty and worthy vessel for it. This was the art of mastery through surrender. It was the understanding that you do not defeat the great and powerful river of reality by building a dam. You defeat it by learning how to become the water. And this is the great challenge that Khonsu poses to you. Your own ego, your inner sun, is a brilliant and powerful force. But it is also a tyrant. It believes that it must always be shining, always be achieving, always be in control. And it is terrified of its own shadow, of its own emptiness, of its own inevitable death. The path of Khonsu is the path of learning to honor the cycles of your own soul. It is the courage to embrace your own dark moons, your moments of emptiness, of confusion, of not knowing. It is the wisdom to understand that these are not moments of failure. They are moments of sacred and necessary regeneration. It is the art of learning to let go of the self that you were, so that the self that you are becoming can have the space to be born. The sun can teach you how to be a king, but only the moon can teach you how to be a phoenix. The cosmic duel between the sun and the moon is not a relic of a dead mythology. It is the central and defining drama of your modern life. A drama that is playing out on the world stage and in the silent theater of your own soul. The sun, Ra, has become the undisputed god of your civilization. He is the archetype of modern achievement. He is the relentless 24-hour cycle of productivity, of innovation, of progress at any cost. He is the blinding glare of your screens, the endless noise of your media, the insatiable hunger of your economy for more, more, more. His is the power of speed, of visibility, of the straight line, and you are his loyal and exhausted servant. The moon, Khonsu, has been exiled. He is the quiet and insistent voice of your own inner life, the part of you that you have been taught to see as a distraction, as an inefficiency, as a weakness. He is the call to reflection in a world that demands action. He is the wisdom of emotion in a world that worships data. He is the necessity of sustainability in a world that is addicted to a suicidal fantasy of infinite growth. He is the sacred rhythm of the body in a world that treats the body like a machine to be pushed until it breaks. The profound imbalance of your civilization is a direct reflection of this celestial schism. You have chosen to worship at the altar of Ra, and you have cast Khonsu out as a demon of laziness and of sentimentality. The result is not a golden age of progress. It is a planetary-scale burnout. You have created a world of incredible technological power and of catastrophic spiritual poverty. The ecological crisis that threatens to consume your planet is the physical manifestation of this imbalance. It is the cry of the earth, the great feminine body that has been raped and plundered by the relentless, projective, and unthinking fire of the masculine sun. The mental health crisis that is sweeping through your societies is the cry of the human soul that has been starved of silence, of stillness, of the regenerative darkness of the night. Your disconnection from the natural rhythms of your own body, your addiction to stimulants to keep you going and to sedatives to shut you down, is the sign of a people who have forgotten that they are not machines. They are moons. They have a cycle. They have phases. They need the darkness as much as they need the light. Khonsu's challenge to Ra is not an ancient myth. It is the living and breathing challenge that your own soul is screaming at your own ego right now. It is the rebellion of the heart against the tyranny of the mind. It is the rebellion of the body against the relentless demands of a machine world. The moon is not trying to extinguish the sun. The moon is trying to correct it. The moon is trying to teach the sun a lesson that the sun, in its proud and solitary brilliance, can never learn on its own. The moon is whispering that the relentless pursuit of more is the path to madness. The moon is whispering that power without introspection is the most dangerous force in the universe. The moon is whispering that the only way to save the world is to stop, to rest, to reflect. The moon is whispering that the next stage of human evolution will not be an act of acceleration. It will be an act of restoration. Your own life is the microcosm of this great and terrible imbalance. You have been taught to be a sun, to be radiant, to be productive, to be visible. You have built an entire identity around your achievements, your resume, your social media profile. But in the quiet, dark hours of the night, when the glare of the world is finally turned off, you feel the cold and empty ache of the moon. You feel the grief for a part of yourself that you have abandoned. The race for technology without ethics, the pursuit of ambition without compassion, the craving for visibility without authenticity. This is the sickness of the solar path. This is the path of a king who has forgotten that he was born of a mother. Khonsu's challenge is not a rebellion. It is an intervention. It is the necessary and loving act of a brother who is trying to save his brother from his own self-destructive glory. And the choice is not which god you will serve. The choice is whether you will have the courage to build a temple in your own soul that is large enough for both of them to live. The great and final truth of this celestial drama is that it does not end in victory or defeat. It ends in a harmony that is more beautiful and more powerful than any solitary triumph. The myth of the eternal duel between the sun and the moon is not a story of a war that will one day be won. It is the story of a sacred tension that is the very engine of life itself. The ultimate goal is not for Khonsu to dethrone Ra, nor for Ra to extinguish the reflected light of Khonsu. The ultimate goal is for the two to achieve a state of perfect and dynamic alignment. And this state, this sacred and beautiful moment of reconciliation, is a state that you witness every single day, twice. It is the dawn, and it is the twilight. In these magical, liminal moments, the sun and the moon share the sky. They are not at war. They are not in opposition. They are in a state of co-equal and co-creative presence. The fiery gold of Ra meets the cool silver of Khonsu. And in their meeting, they create a third and more beautiful light, the soft, pearlescent, and multi-hued light of the horizon. This is the ultimate teaching of the myth. It is a teaching of alignment, not of victory. It is the understanding that the masculine and the feminine, the projective and the receptive, the light and the shadow must not just coexist. They must learn to serve the same single and sacred purpose, to sustain the world that is born of their union. The initiate who has mastered this final and most profound lesson has transcended the war of the opposites within their own soul. They are no longer a creature of the day or a creature of the night. They are a creature of the twilight. They have learned to wield the radiant, projective power of Ra with the quiet, reflective, and cyclical wisdom of Khonsu. They are the warrior poet. They are the king mystic. They are the being who can build an empire and write a love song with the same single and integrated breath. They have achieved the sacred marriage, the alchemical wedding, within their own heart. And their life is no longer a struggle between two competing forces. It is a dance. The resolution is not a final peace treaty signed in a celestial hall. It is a living, breathing, and daily practice. It is the art of knowing when to be the sun and when to be the moon. It is the art of knowing when to act with the full and projective force of your will, and when to surrender into the silent, receptive, and regenerative darkness of your own inner being. It is the art of the sacred pause. When Khonsu rises, he does not seek to dethrone the sun. He seeks to remind it that brilliance means nothing if it forgets to rest in its own reflection. And when Ra rises, he does not seek to extinguish the memory of the night. He rises from it, renewed, reborn, and made whole by his journey through the darkness. The ultimate power in the universe is not the power of the sun or the power of the moon. It is the power of the horizon, the sacred and liminal space where the two meet and remember that they are one. Your soul is that horizon. You are the temple where the two gods can finally lay down their arms and recognize each other as brothers, as lovers, as two necessary and beautiful halves of the one, single and eternal God that is you. If this video resonated with you, let us know by commenting. I understood it.